And then, of course, I want to also welcome Noah Karandannis, an ASB leadership member and editor of our first ever student yearbook, who will also be speaking tonight. Graduates, you'll notice a theme. There's a theme of thanking people at your graduation. So it is about you, but it's also about all these other people that have shown up to celebrate with you. So the next people I'd like to recognize and thank for being here is the Adrian C. Nelson High School staff who have come to celebrate along with you. So some of them are back here and some of them are on stage and around the scenes for your graduation. Now, your turn to really congratulate the people around you, because look at all the people. There's only 86 of you, and look at all of the people that showed up to celebrate with you. So it's your turn to turn around and thank the people that showed up to support you. Now again, there's only 86 of them. We're the first graduation for North Clackamas School District, but what I want to do is I want to set the standard that we are just as loud as the hundreds of others who will be graduating here in the next few days. And so parents, most importantly, let's welcome the class of 2022 and do it loudly so they know that you're here. All right, graduates, you've heard me say it before. There's a banner to the entrance of the school, and you're probably sick of me saying it, but it is true. Tradition starts here. This class will forever be a special class for Nelson High School. You are one class of many, many more to come, but you will always be the first class. Although you did not, none of you, start high school at Adrian C. Nelson High School, you are finishing here, and your leadership has certainly left its mark on our community for literally generations to come. Although you may be few in number, you are not weak of heart, courage, or compassion. I have appreciated opening this building with you. To keep with tradition starting here, I'm going to start a tradition of keeping my comments very short and sweet, and get right to the heart of recognizing you and honoring some outstanding academic accomplishments for the class of 2022. These accomplishments we have already awarded to the students, so we won't be calling them to the stage, but I do want to announce it here at their commencement ceremony and just highlight some of the academic achievements of class of 2022. So the first academic achievements that I'd like to recognize this year are our salutatorians. Our salutatorians are those with the second highest cumulative GPA, having earned all A's with the exception of 2 B's during their high school careers, which actually for many of you started in middle school with high school credit classes for either Spanish or different math classes. So when I read your name, please rise and be recognized. So the first of our salutatorians is Luke Lee. Go ahead and stay standing, Luke. And then Olivia Wooten. Please join me once again in congratulating this year's salutatorians. You can be seated. The next group that we're going to honor tonight are our valedictorians. Valedictorians are those graduating seniors with the highest cumulative GPA of 4.0 over their high school career, which again, many of you started in middle school. This is a tremendous academic achievement, so please stand as I call your name and be recognized. Jacqueline Bouchard. Noah Karandannis. Sophie Denham. Gordon Shum. And Emma Webinger. This is your class of 2022 valedictorians. Let's give them a round of applause. You can be seated. The Oregon Department of Education's Seal of Biliteracy is an award given by a school district in recognition of students who have studied and attained proficiency in 2 or more languages by high school graduation. It encourages students to pursue biliteracy, honors the skills our students have attained, and can be evidence of skills that are attractive to future employers and college admissions offices. This year, we have one graduate who has met all of the requirements for this honor. Would Natalie Lopez Monroy please stand and be recognized for this tremendous achievement? Be seated. Good job, Natalie. And finally, I want to recognize our first ever and this year's Justice Nelson Award recipients for the class of 2022. These students were honored at our senior awards night last week, but I want to take a moment and recognize them again here today. This is an award that is given for academic achievement, but also for having a significant and positive impact on our school and our local community. So the very deserving winners of the first Justice Nelson Awards are Jacqueline Bouchard, please stand. Noah Karandannis, Sophie Denham, and Kathleen Snyder. Please join me in one big round of applause for our Justice Nelson Award winners. You could be seated. And that is enough from me for a while. I would like to introduce you to our first of 3 student speakers. Kathleen Snyder is one of the ASB co-presidents and senior class co-presidents. Outside of school, she created an organization that collects period products for homeless people. Her passions vary from writing to painting to politics. She will be attending Willamette University, planning on majoring in politics, policy, law, and ethics, along with literature. She plans to get both a PhD and a JD in the future, with hopes of working for the ACLU or the Innocence Project as a lawyer. I invite Kathleen Snyder to the stage to share her comments.
I've never worked a microphone before, so tell me if I'm being too loud. But greetings to all of you here tonight, friends, family, faculty, and most importantly, students. It's an honor to be here before you tonight at Adrian C. Nelson High School's first ever graduation. While I don't personally know all of you, I want to congratulate all of you on your wonderful achievements. I believe you will all end up where you need to be. Frankly, it'd be absurd for me to neglect the fact that we went through an incredibly strange and difficult high school experience. With these circumstances, I truly believe we are all rising to the occasion and flourishing in our process of self-discovery and growth. Before I start this, I want to ask a question. Is it better to speak or to die? A phrase derived from the French romance novel Habit de Moi, the sentiment feels incredibly fitting for this new chapter of our lives. Similar sentiments can be found in a variety of other pieces of media. Peter Weir's Dead Poet Society emphasizes a similar sentiment with its utilization of the phrase carpe diem, meaning to seize the day in Latin. To the Virgins to Make Much of Time by Robert Herrick also highlights a similar idea with the stanza, gather ye rosebuds while ye may, old time is still a-flying, and the same flower that smiles today, tomorrow will be dying. Based on all the references I've given you, it's clear I believe it's better to speak. Is living in fear of using your voice really living? We have numbered days, a stopwatch that goes and goes and goes until it stops. 1 second you're there, and the next you're gone. I spent years believing that dying would have been better, that self-advocacy was unimportant under the notion it would be perceived as selfishness. I used to pick at my nails until they dripped dark red blood all over my documents before I'd think about standing before a teacher to ask a question that they'd heard 20 times over. Admittedly, my anxious tics still haven't changed. I still pick at my nails until they bleed while asking a question that most teachers are enthused to answer. But the cause of this slight change was simple. I met people who liked what I had to say. I had friends and family that enjoyed my company. And when people around you believe your thoughts, feelings, existence is important, you're inclined to believe so yourself. Having people who care about you is especially important in moments like these. While I continuously reference my family, thank you, Mom and Dad, support systems can be from anyone. 2 of my most reliable supports are graduating with me today. It's not about where you come from or who you come from. It's about where you belong and who you find yourself with. As we transition to this scarily new portion of our lives, hold your friends a little closer, hug your family a little longer, and celebrate the little things like silly birthdays and anniversaries, and value the moments you have with them, because you never know when they'll be gone for good. Reach out to people you haven't spoken to a while, whether it's for comfort, closure, nostalgia. We all have someone in our lives that's eager for a phone call. We live in our heads too much, checking on your friends, your family, and people you think might need it. We cannot do this alone, so don't let people think that they have to. While we are continuously evolving, keep familiar faces close, but not too close. Look for unfamiliar traits in the people you pursue any relationship with. Look around, see all the unfamiliar attributes, all the friendships and relationships you've missed. While the people beside you now might not be your best friends forever, there's no doubt that they've made an impact on your life. Frankly, I'd love to end this speech with the cliche, "You'll always be a hawk," but I want more for us. Sure, you went to high school and possibly enjoyed your time, but I believe none of us are limited to the brick walls that make up our school. This was just a fancy way of saying I hope you didn't peak in high school. But thank you to all of our teachers for making this experience tolerable, truly having a passion for teaching, and making an impermeable impact on many of our lives. Thank you to the other faculty members for keeping the school running, and thank you to everyone who's here tonight. And remember to hug everyone here a little extra tight. Congratulations, seniors, and best of luck.
Thank you, Kate. This ceremony is called a commencement ceremony. Because the word commencement is tied to graduation, oftentimes people believe that it means ending, as in, I have finished high school. Commencement actually means beginning, because this ceremony marks the beginning of what happens next. You'll always be a hawk, but you are and will be so much more. Thank you, Kate, for the reminder. Now, you all might recognize our next speaker just from his voice on the afternoon announcements. It's a common lie that's told around the school that it's me on those announcements. It's definitely not me. So I will introduce you to the lead Hawkaroonie himself, Noah Karandannis.
Howdy, Hawkaroonies. I wish to offer my sincerest congratulations to the first ever graduating class of Adrian C. Nelson High School, the class of 2022. A young man confessed to an older man that he saw no good in the world. He saw the world as a sick place. After a moment, the man said, "If you ask a fly, are there any flowers in this area?" it will reply, "I don't know about flowers, but over there in that pile of trash, you can find all the filth you want." Now, if you ask a honeybee, "Are there any unclean things in this area?" it will reply, "Unclean things? No, I have not seen any. This place is full of the most fragrant flowers." I tell you this little story not to encourage ignorance of the injustice and ugliness in the world, but rather to encourage you and illustrate the belief of the great novelist Fyodor Dostoevsky that beauty will save the world. A worldwide pandemic, civil unrest, and an unstable society have painted our high school experiences. It is hard to be apathetic towards these problems, as they have all directly impacted us in one way or another. But we need to remind ourselves to see the beautiful things in life as well. I was less than inclined to believe that beauty would save the world. It had to be knowledge, power, strength, and innovation which would save us. Yes, all of these things are important in bringing about meaningful change, but as I reflect upon my high school experience, I recognize and realize that beauty has contributed its strengths to so many areas. Beauty can be found everywhere. As Oregonians, we live in one of the country's most beautiful places. Having the ability to bask in the splendor of the nature around us and appreciate it. Murals and artwork dot our schools, neighborhoods, and cities, providing proof that humanity can still capture creativity and use it for good. Most importantly, beauty can be found in our relationships with one another. A smile exchanged with a stranger in the hallways, laughter with friends and family, and precious moments of emotional impact which we share with each other. These past 4 years have taught us that although we don't always have control over what happens to us, we do have control over how we react to situations. We all chose to be a part of the first senior class at this high school. Traditions were started because of us. Examples were set because of us. And unforgettable moments of joy and celebration have entered into Nelson High School's hallways, forever remembering its light. This class chose to be a force of good in this wonderful community. And I don't see us not continuing to be a positive force as we enter into the next stages of life. We chose love and beauty, and our efforts are already bearing fruit for the future generations of Nelson High School students. As young adults going into the world, it is essential that we bear the light of love, kindness, and understanding. I recognize that Dostoevsky did not only mean external beauty would save the world, but that it is precisely internal beauty which will save us. The ugly problems in the world today require beautiful solutions. As the next generation, we must humble ourselves to create the proper ones. Beautify and adorn your inner lives with the garments of love and empathy. If we do this, peace will radiate all around us. Let us go to college, join the workforce, endure hardships, think revolutionary ideas, create wonderful works of art. But throughout all of this, cultivate good thoughts within yourselves and towards others. Thoughts which encourage understanding of everyone. Thoughts that perceive the beauty in every situation and interaction. Thoughts that will change the world in that unique way in which only you can change it. Class of 2022, may we all shed the lens of the fly, which only sees the rubbish in the world. Find other people who see beauty in even the most difficult of circumstances. Enjoy the splendor of other people's life experiences and the vibrancy of their humanity. Rejoice in the very act of being alive and having the ability to be perpetual students of life. Congratulations, class of 2022. Go forth, make the world beautiful, and be the bee. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. I truly appreciate your comments and for your wish to see the beauty in each other's humanity. That really rings true to me, and I appreciate your comments. Class of 2022, it is time. So you sit in those seats right now as high school seniors, and when you return to these seats, you will be high school graduates. We spend a lot of time and energy, especially in society today, downplaying moments of significance for fear that someone will think that we're silly or that we're uncool. I want you to enjoy this moment for what it is right now. This is a significant milestone for not only you, but your supporters as well. Enjoy it. Feel free to enjoy it, and don't be ashamed to enjoy it. This is a big deal. So North Clackamas School Board members, Superintendent Dr. Shay James, I am proud to present to you the Adrian C. Nelson High School inaugural graduating class, the class of 2022. I hereby certify that these graduates before you have successfully completed all the graduation requirements set forth by the North Clackamas School District and the state of Oregon. To recognize this achievement, we will now issue diplomas. Line leaders, lead your graduates to the stage, please. All right, so it takes roughly 2 minutes for that, even though I can reach out and shake their hands here, it takes them about 2 minutes to get around. And so while they're walking and making their way to this side of the stage, what I want to do is kind of explain how this section is going to go. And so we're going to read each student's name, and they'll cross the stage, and they'll get their picture taken, and we'll make sure that you get those pictures at a later time. But we want to make sure that each student gets their name read, and it's a right name. So we don't want to read somebody else's name and have somebody else come across the stage. And so I have no shame. I will pause this ceremony. We will back this ceremony up and make sure that your kid gets their name read so that they can cross this stage. Also, we want to make sure that everybody has their moment with their diploma, but we also don't want to be here until midnight. And so we're going to utilize the power clap method of graduation. And so the way that that's going to work is our fabulous name readers over here that will read each name. When they read a name, we will all do one big power clap. And of course, families are going to scream for their kids as well. And that's the way it goes. I encourage that. We'll do one big, huge power clap. We'll have their moment on the stage, and then we'll read the next name. So I want to practice this power clap with a few really important people here as our graduates continue down to the stage. So first of all, our counselors in the background have been spending countless hours to make sure that this moment is just right for every one of our graduates. And so we're going to practice. I'm going to read a counselor's name, and if everybody can take a second to do one big, huge power clap for each of these names, that would be great. Let's practice together. First person is Counselor Erica Rutz. Nailed it. Good work. All right, next, our counselor Carrie Dinsmore. And finally, a counselor Yasmin Harris. And we have one more that I want to make sure that we recognize, because although I'm standing in front of you, the person that's put more work into this graduation, making sure that all of the details are taken care of, is our administrative assistant, our head secretary, Melissa Minto. So I'm going to say her name, and then we're going to do the clap, okay? Melissa Minto. She's done a tremendous amount of work to make sure everything is special for this graduating class. And I'm going to look over and see, oh, look at that. We timed that perfectly. They are ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and nod to them in just a second. We have line leaders who will be crossing the stage, and then our students will cross the stage too. They will walk up. So for photographers out there, if you want to plan what's going to happen here, what's going to happen is they're going to shake Justice Nelson's hand, and then they'll walk to the end of the stage and receive their diploma from the school board member. And that's how we're going to do that tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and nod. And we'll go ahead and get started. Yep, go ahead.
Graduates, when your name is called, please cross the stage and receive your diploma. Nikita Anchetta. Ellis Cyan Martin Barshow. Nathan Bijan. Jonathan Bijan. Avery Burgers. Sophia Bertolini. Nora Borup. Jacqueline Bouchard. Isabel Brighouse. Jarek Jordan Bullard. Dixon Kai. Noah Perry Karandannis. Andrew Jian Chan. Kristen Natalie Chanthamong. Ryan Chow. Julie Chavez. Kayla Chun. Michaela David. Maria de la Riva Galindo. Sophie Denham. Christopher Diaz Hernandez.
Emily Ann Fiorito. Joseph Fiorito. Mason Elkins. Abby Usler. Cassidy Ferry. Nicole Garzon Carrillo. Casey Gorsuch. Noe Hernandez. Andrew Huang. AJ Hayes. Noelle Elizabeth Julieson. Princess Emiliane Kattigbach. Faith Kimbrough. Emma Kucher. Peyton Ray Ladd. Taylor Nicole Ladd. Katrina Lamb. Reese Lee. Alejandro Lima. Nadaline Lopez Monroy. Luke Lee.
Emma Mafty. Colton McCarville. Jessica Masuk. Melanie Medina. Julia Meza. Taryn Nelson. Hui Nguyen. Han Nguyen. Dylan Nguyen. Che Patterson. Madeline Pendergrass. Jin Pereiras. Nana Panthadath. Christian Ribau. Brandon Rodriguez. Chloe Rosas. Justin Rossi. Daniel James Rellis. Amir Sadiq.
Gavin Schwartz. Ava Shuley. Amy Shamrai. Catherine Shalita. Olivia Shekels. Gordon Shum. Kathleen Elizabeth Gerard Snyder. Antonio Solano Cuevas. Okay, yeah. Michael Sullivan. Joey Tabbitt. Ian Michael Thacker. Abigail Turk. Ellie Wallace. Emma Webinger. Michaela Hope Weimer. Taryn Whitlow Morgan. Olivia Grace Wooten. Isaac Wright. Cole Ronsky. Gary Zay. Wilson Zhu. Martin Zavala Rodriguez. Matthew Owen. Ian Hunt.
There's a lot of reasons why people chose to come to Adrian C. Nelson High School when they had a choice. Family, I'm not sure if this was part of the choice, but the shortest graduation ever is looking pretty good right now. Right now, our graduates are making their way back to their seats, and while we do, I would like to welcome the Adrian C. Nelson High School A Choir under the direction of Mr. Scott Davis, who will be performing The Road Home.
I
might have been the music or it might have been the sun, but I swear I saw tears out there. As we close out the evening and close out your high school careers, we have two final speakers. First, we are honored this evening to have Oregon Supreme Court Justice Adrian C. Nelson here to speak to the first ever graduating class. Recapping Justice Nelson's career would take longer than we have time for here, so I will lead with what I know to be a core principle of hers: community. In the 18 months that I have been privileged to get to know Justice Nelson, I can say that building and maintaining community is always on her mind. And the opening of this school simply meant expanding her community. I had the opportunity to attend our high school musical a few weeks back with her and her mom, and the connections and conversations that she had with the students involved in the show was beautiful. I am honored to invite Justice Adrienne C. Nelson to the stage to share her remarks with this graduating class.
Congratulations to the inaugural class of the Adrian C. Nelson High School, class of 2022. Woo! I hope each of you had a wonderful senior year. I hope and send you positive thoughts that as you go forth, that you'll remember this special day. Not just the remarks, but the conversations that you're having with your friends, the songs, the music, and that the sun shone as soon as all of you sat down. I think that's a pretty good sign that you all have a bright future. I am so proud of everything you've done to graduate. I'm also proud of your parents, your family, your teachers, and everyone who has guided you along the way. I do believe in community, and I'm so proud that your community is here with you. You clearly had to have a memorable and productive senior year, otherwise you wouldn't be here tonight. I hope that you have all of the celebrations, and I did say that in the plural, celebrations that you dream and you want. You've earned this special achievement. When faced with many challenges, particularly this pandemic, you pivoted when tested and you did not give up. You kept going and strengthened your resilience muscle. Now, I too understand that life is not perfect, and I had a life-altering experience that deeply affected me and my graduation. And reflecting on that experience, I shared two lessons with you in anticipation that you would incorporate them into your lives. Number one, that you should not shrink when things become uncomfortable or do not go as planned. And two, you never know when a situation will present itself in which you will have to decide who you are and what you stand for. As you continue to live, apply those lessons I just shared, and I hope that you will trust me when I say they will serve you well, because they've served me well. Now, your graduation marks your passage into adulthood. Now it's time for you to begin to take charge of your own life. It's when you get to decide what's important to you, including the values you want to live by. So, as you continue to live and grow, reach high, dream deeply, be flexible, reliable, and optimistic. Take time to reflect and define yourself. Have the courage to follow your own heart and path. Trust your instincts, set goals, work smartly, take risks, learn from your mistakes, embrace change, and accept responsibilities for the choices you make. Take strength and wisdom from the words of Maya Angelou, who said, and I quote, "You may not control all of the events that happen to you, but you can decide to not be reduced by them," end quote. So throughout your lives, as many times as needed, change your context so you can move beyond what you see in front of you to what is possible. Live your best lives. And as you enter the world, whether it's a different world from the one you expected, or it's exactly what you expected, it's a world that needs each and every one of you. This is your generation's world to shape. I hope that you'll be inspired to make this world better than you were born. Why? Because as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once put it, and I quote, "We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly," end quote. Never has a graduating class been called to step into the future with more purpose, vision, passion, energy, and hope. Personally, I cannot wait to see all that you create, who you become, and how you change the world. Keep making us proud, and always know that you matter. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Thank you, Justice Nelson, for sharing this moment with us. And we have one final speaker tonight, Jackie Bouchard, who will leave you with some closing thoughts. Now, at the end of Jackie's speech, she will lead you in the tradition of moving your tassel. So right now it should be on the right side of your cap. So if it's not, just, flick it over. Make sure it's where it's supposed to be. After the moving of the tassels, that's the time when it is traditional for graduates to throw their caps into the air. But if you want to have a chance of getting that cap back, make sure you know where it lands. These are the words of wisdom I have. Okay, so tassels, throw your caps, and then after that, I am going to say some things on the microphone that nobody's going to listen to. It'll be like one sentence, but really after that, we're not going to march out of the stage. We're not going to do what is traditionally called a recessional, where we march out. After that, it's celebration. Throw your caps, celebrate, go find your people, get some hugs, get some pictures taken, get more hugs, get more pictures taken. And so with that, I'm going to bring Jackie Bouchard to bring us home.
Hello, everyone. Perfect, an unattainable dream. I've always hated the word. No matter how many hours in school, at home, on the field, in the studio, or on the court, I could never exactly reach it. We practice and we practice to make this unattainable dream a reality. But for what? To be told we did well, to know we made someone proud. Practice makes perfect, but what do you do once you've accomplished perfection? Where else might we go? I learned from a wonderful motivational speaker, Leslie Calvin Brown, also known as Les Brown, a way to think about practice from a more positive and growth-minded perspective. Brown says, "Everything we do is practice for something greater than where we currently are. Practice only makes for improvement. Practice makes improvement." That is one of many ideals that I hope my fellow seniors and I will take into our vast futures. Nothing is impossible. We may not be perfect, but we will be forever able to improve ourselves if we hold true to our projections. No matter what those projections are, I am confident that we can each achieve our goals, for no good ideas were popular in their time. Different experiences can change people. Going into the future, we, as young adults, are going to live through a lot of different experiences. However, I personally think that the class of 2022 has lived through too many different experiences thus far. With the COVID-19 pandemic, flu, civil unrest, and even war, it'd be difficult not to catch the most careful glance of the strength of each senior here, as well as around the globe. To the class of 2022, I hope these next years bring you some relaxation, fun, and reprieve from the strenuous high school experience we have had. Though we are going to make a lot of mistakes, we must continue to be open to growth in order to become functional members of society. A very good friend of mine has told me to assume that any driver that cuts you off or honks at you is in dying need of something. Believe them to be in a worse state. We don't know everyone's stories. We all battle our own mental and physical enemies. To the class of 2022, keep a positive outlook, keep a positive attitude, and keep strong. For the only way to win a battle is to keep your front line steady. Going forward, I'd love to bring forth with me this idea of strength. Not only that, but courage. Every senior here today has shown the utmost bravery in choosing Adrian C. Nelson High School for their senior year. Knowing this, I can conclude that the ANHS class of 2022, the first ever ANHS senior class, are going to conquer the world of adulthood with crisp ambition and sheer determination. I've always heard how actions are far better than words, but words are just as powerful in my opinion, for action is derived from words. Throughout high school, we all know the force that words can have. They can anger, they can boast, they can produce tears, they can produce envy, hate, and even hurt. But they can also produce laughter, love, and power. We shall be careful with words. They have a fighting-edged sword and a mighty powerful blow. Though they may appear in the vanity of nature and goodwill, we shall be careful with them. The future holds more for us in the emotional expanse of our words and ideas, rather than the opposition of that which is unknown and known. So capture your audiences and dispel your negativity. Seize the day, class of 2022, and make your lives extraordinary. Thank you. And now, your final assignment. Class of 2022, please join me in standing together. To signify this moment of transition, please join me in moving your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left side. And with that, Adrian C. Nelson High School class of 2022, you are dismissed.
Give it up one more time for our class of 2022. Make it loud. They are dismissed. I would head up that way and find your people inside the extra space that's up that way.